Hey guys, I'm working remotely this week, but I did want to just quickly touch base and check in and give you an update of where we think we are in terms of how close we are to a potential risk-off move, specifically for the S&P 500, measuring sort of a general, using a general risk parameter for risk on, risk off. But basically, I'm going to quickly flip the chart. We do think as we get into the month of May that we are at increasing risk of at least more choppiness. If you look at a simple seasonality chart, you can see that this is the S&P 500 seasonality. November through April tends to be the best months. After that, it gets a bit choppier. And we do think we're about to head into this period, historically speaking. And if we take this, and I'll show you a chart in a minute, it does line up quite nicely with also where we are, not only in the chart but also in the sentiment, from a sentiment perspective. So strong April, strong really January through April period, and we think it's going to get more difficult. If you move over to just a simple daily chart, we are once again at a point now where this yellow line is the 50-day. So what is this? The 50-day is currently about 5% below the index level. The 200-day, which is that red line, is about 13.5%, 14% below the price level. And this particularly, the rating above the 200-day is historically where we do tend to see some sort of pause. Again, we're not calling for the end of the world, but anything between a 5 and 10% pullback here does make sense from a sentiment perspective. If you're curious, that's a bit less quantitative. Us speaking to a lot of investors every day, every week, we can tell you that people are a lot more bullish now than they were coming into January and February. So a lot more people are more fully invested, and I think from that perspective, we could start to see a bit of a pause. At the same time, we'll tell you a lot of people still doubt the rally, and so I think if we do get a 5 or 10% pullback at some point, we'll probably need to buy that again. And again, this is very specifically just in a broader sort of risk sentiment perspective, S&P 500. But I do think it's probably a pretty good time to buy some protection. Tactically, again, this is a multi-week, multi-month call at most, maybe even shorter than that. But if you look at the VIX reading right now, we're still very low, like 16, 17. So I think buying some protection here does make a lot of sense. And so I just wanted to quickly chime in on this again. This is a quite timely video. I don't think this is something that really one can extrapolate too much from this. But again, if you have seasonality, sentiment, and again the chart stuff or momentum kind of agree with each other in the short term, I would think that even though underneath the surface we could see rotation, and we'll update you guys on what we see there. But I think on the broad index level, we'll probably see a lot of deceleration in terms of how quickly the index can appreciate from here through the next sort of few months. And again, we will update you on the further developments on that. But strong, quarter for 2021, the first quarter, and all the way through April. So we think we're likely due for a pause here, but we will extrapolate more on that as we come along. Hope this makes sense. Any questions, comments, leave them below. We'll see you soon.